Some people do a lot of shameful things to get attention in order to become famous. But when this mentality becomes psychotic, they won't even hesitate to kill people to gain that little attention. Hello guys, this is Professor Autocat here. Welcome back. Let's take a look at how two sick American youths planned and carried out a murder in order to become famous. And the victim was a beautiful girl who regarded the two of them as good friends.
It's like Cassie's family. She's perfect, so she's gonna die.
16-year-old Cassie Jo Stoddard, a top student at Pocatello High School in Iowa, USA. Not only is she beautiful and she's a straight A student, she's friendly to everyone and she likes to unite and help those new students and classmates who are not easy to blend into the school society. Brian, a transfer student, and Tori, an introvert otaku, naturally became her good friends, but Cassie didn't know that the two boys she considered as friends were secretly planning a despicable crime against her. Brian has been fascinated by the beautiful and kind Cassie since their first meeting, but at this time Cassie was already dating a classmate, Matt. Brian could only keep his love in his heart, pretending that he's only Cassie's friend. Brian's mentality was that he was isolated in school and couldn't get Cassie's love because he was not famous. And Tori, who had been a marginal person in the class for a long time, also felt that way. So these two guys were going to do a big thing to make a name for themselves. Speaking of which, I would like to mention the Columbine High School massacre in the States in 1999. At that time, two gunmen, Harris and Klebold, entered the school and carried out a massacre, resulting in a total of 13 deaths and 24 injuries. And the two gunmen shot themselves later, but they left a lot of video materials to record how they planned the massacre. That made them the most famous school shooters in the American history. Inspired by them, Brian and Tori felt the best way to become famous was to kill a classmate. They were also planning to record their plans and implementations with video, and their goal was their friendly Cassie. It can be said from the targets they chose, it can be seen how cowardly they are. Because there must be someone who bullied them at school, but they did not dare to kill these people in the name of revenge, instead killing the nicest and kindest girl. From this video we can see how excited they were discussing and eagerly making their criminal plan.
September 22nd to 26th, we're skipping last 40 hours. We're not even planning right now. I'm telling Cassie's family, but she had number one. We have to stick with the plan. And she's perfect, so she's gonna die.
The murder took place on Friday, September 22nd, 2006. Brian even recorded a video of Cassie greeting him with a smile that morning. That evening, Cassie's uncle and his family were going on a trip, and they wouldn't be back until Sunday, so he asked Cassie to help take care of the house. Cassie felt that it was boring to guard an empty house alone, so she asked the boyfriend Matt to accompany her and invited Brian and Tori to watch videos recordings together on that Friday night. After knowing that Cassie was not alone, Brian and Tori changed their plans. They were going to find an excuse to trick Matt out first and kill him before entering the house to kill Cassie, and they also planned to kill others if there were people present. They bought 4 knives from a pawn shop that day and drove to the destination while excitedly discussing how to kill Cassie. They were planning to intimidate her like in the horror movies and let her die in panic and pain. That night they came to the house where Cassie was guarding. Brian first walked around the house and locked all the exits except the gate to prevent Cassie from escaping. Then they said that watching the video was too boring and they left, saying they were going to the movies. In fact, Brian and Tori did not go to the movies at all. They hid outside the house and bided their time.
We know there's lots of doors. There's lots of places to hide. I locked the back doors. It's all locked. Now we just gotta wait.
After a while, Matt's mother drove up and she took Matt home so that Cassie was the only person in the house. The time the two scumbags were waiting for finally came. They cut off the power to the house, put on masks, and rushed into the house through the gate. And then they chased Cassie in the house without stopping and attacked her with the knives. She was screaming at the top of her lungs because of fear. The poor girl was stabbed for 29 times and gradually lost her strength and fell to the ground. The two murderers quickly fled the scene and let her bleed to death. Just a few minutes after fleeing the scene, Brian and Tori couldn't wait to take out the video camera and start recording their victory speech.
I just killed Cassie. We just left her house. This is not a fucking joke.
I'm shaking.
I stabbed her in the throat and I saw her lifeless body just disappear. Dude, I just killed Cassie. Oh, fuck. That felt like fucking real. I mean, it went by so fast.
Shut the fuck up. We gotta get our act straight.
Okay.
Afterwards, Brian and Tori went to buy 2 movie tickets that night as an alibi and found a piece of wasteland. Knives, gloves, masks, videotapes, and other evidence were dug and buried. 2 days later, when the uncle's family came back from vacation, the 13-year-old cousin rushed into the red living room first and found Cassie's body, who had been dead for a long time, covered in blood. This shock left a permanent scar on the young girl's heart. The police soon came to the scene. After asking Cassie's boyfriend about the situation that night, the police quickly locked the suspects on Brian and Tori. Under the fierce interrogation offensive by the officers, the 2 useless jerks quickly collapsed, crying like cowards while trying to shift the main responsibility to the other person. Brian also took the initiative to lead the police to find the evidence they buried. The police originally planned to find evidence such as knives and bloody clothes. They did not expect finding the videotape of their plan to kill as well as the notes of the plan. The police were shocked. Brian and Tori had planned to use the tapes to make a name for themselves, but in court it turned into a one-way ticket to prison. Although they both argued that they were just joking on the tape, the jury was not convinced. In 2007, the 2 of them were convicted for first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without parole. In the subsequent appeal, although both of them cried bitterly and showed regret, the judge of the High Court did not buy it and upheld the original verdict. Although the 2 murderers were punished, the harm they caused was long-term and far-reaching. The cousin who found Cassie's body had a nervous breakdown several times and tried to commit suicide, and Cassie's uncle and his family never dared to step into the living room again. They tried to sell the house, but it has become a well-known haunted house in the small town and no one's willing to buy. Because of this, both Cassie's uncle and aunt got depression and lost their jobs. Until 2019, Brian and Tori were trying to use the Youth Criminal Justice Act to fight for a lighter sentence. Fortunately, the judge kept the bottom line every time and sent back their application. Let's hope that they can be well taken care of by the bosses in the prison and rot in there. Great, that's all for today. If you like my channel, please access the like button, follow my Instagram account, subscribe and turn on the notification bell. And I'll see your beautiful face next time. Bye.